All right. Hey. You're listening to I'm Scared, the podcast where we laugh at our fears, scream into the void, and pretend we're not deeply haunted by everything we watch. I am your host, Gio, and season 3 is on a kick off. I am so excited to get this on. I'm going to be recording it so that way you are going to get the live and the interactions that we get together. Cool part about this new season, I created a new theme song. It may be cheesy as F, but I feel in my case that it is super good and of course I'm going to say it's super good, but I feel like it goes really well to what this podcast is all about. So, we will be diving into the 2022 supernatural horror film Talk to Me, also known as Don't Hold the Creepy Hand, You Absolute Idiot. But without further ado, here is a song. Come on in, the crypt is warm. We've got popcorn in a thunderstorm. Goal approved and the devil blessed. We talk horror, but we're well dressed. Screams and laughs and a spooky blend. We love the kills, we roast in the end. So grab your steak and your popcorn too. We're the horror fans who laugh with you. It's I'm Scared, we fear with flair. Now press play if you dare. All right. So now, real quick, if you haven't seen Talk to Me, this is your official spoiler alert because I'm about to get into the ghostly shenanigans that this movie comes into, the emotional trauma, and teenage decisions so bad that make you want to scream, where are the parents? Because in reality, when all this stuff happens, where the heck are the parents? Why aren't they intervening? Why aren't they trying to figure things out? So let's talk about the hand. So this hand basically is a hand that was severed from a medium, or as they say, a person who talked to spirits or who did all that. And the one question we never get is how it came to be, just that what it is, right? So now we have these Australian teenagers who have found it super fun to, one, hold the hand, say, talk to me, hence the name of the movie, and two, say, I invite you in, or I let you in. Sorry, not I invite you in. I let you in. They invite a spirit to take over their body, like a possession. We're talking about like a most modern Ouija board, right? So you have a Ouija board where you want to talk to ghosts and scare the living bejesus out of anybody who plays it. But now you have this new hand who now not only can you talk to the dead, but you can let them, or you let them, not you can, but you let them take over your body and do, talk, do whatever they want, which in any case is a big no-no. Don't ever do that, right? So you get them doing that and it becomes like a high to them, right? It's like a drug, kind of like a way to cope with things, a new type of drug, right? So we get them starting to do this whole thing, and now we get Mia, right? Mia is, she's the main girl in this story. She is unfortunately grieving through the recent loss of her mom, so she is kind of just trying to live her life, going through whatever she's going through, trying to cope with the grief of it, right? Well, she gets invited and she gets into this hand and she enjoys it. It's like the one thing that makes her feel alive, which of course can be good, but can also be bad, right? It's the same thing as like any type of drug. You're gonna take it, but there could be repercussions later on. Well, with her, she loves it, right? She really loves the crap out of it, and to a point that it gets out of hand. Pun very much intended. All right, so these ghosts that take your body aren't like happy ghosts. They're all mean. You can see when they like get in or they get possessed. These ghosts like say whatever or like kind of insult other people, or it just makes it like these aren't the nicest ghosts that you'd want. This isn't Casper taking over your body or anything like that. These are actual ghosts that are just angry in their life prior and now in the spiritual life, right? So you get to a point where, unfortunately, Mia's friend's younger brother wants to do this, and Mia convinces him to do it, like convinces the sister to allow him, and the ghost that gets him is terribly, terribly angry to the point that makes him like beat the living crap out of the kid, like while possessed, slamming his head. It is crazy to the point that he's hospitalized, right? So we're getting to a point where this is just hard, right? We start seeing, again, Mia is starting to go more into like she needs it. She wants to do it. And there's a moment that she believes she sees her mom. And that her mom's talking to her. Now, there was one occasion that they discussed that the hand can appear to be anyone, but it can also appear to be someone you know, but not be the person. So in this whole time, you're seeing her react to all these things. She's starting to see it without touching the hand. She's starting to hallucinate, right? So basically the drug is taking over her. And it gets to a point where she is following whatever the demons say. Now, if I'm one to do this and I'm saying follow demons, I would say 100% don't follow the demon, right? But don't do it. But give it, she's grieving. We'll leave it to that. But she gets so involved into it that she has to free the friend, and in order to free the friend, it looks like she's gonna sacrifice the kid. So the kid is still in the freaking hospital. She is wigging out like crazy, and this is the part where I think was really good with this movie. So if it's gonna freak you out, I'm gonna give you a warning. Don't watch it, right? Because it's so psychological. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's actually happens. You know, she's seeing things. There's a point that she sees like her dad banging the door, open it, start yelling at her. And in reality, the dad's not even there. But when the dad starts hearing that she's struggling in her room and he goes, in her mind, she's thinking the dad's attacking her. In real life, the dad's just like, honey, are you okay? What's going on? He opens the door, goes in, and since she's thinking like, oh shoot, dad's attacking me, she finds scissors and then, boom, stabs him, right? But then she snaps out of whatever that thing is and realizes it really, like the dad wasn't really doing it. Anyway, the whole point of this is that, one, grief hurts, okay? The whole point of this is that grief hurts, right? Beneath all of this, Talk to Me talks about like, or focuses on how Mia misses her mom so much that she's willing to risk everything for even like a small connection to her again, right? And my wife recently just lost her mother, and I bet in a way she probably would want the same thing, trying to find that connection again to her mom. Now, I'm not saying that she would go crazy. I don't know, right? We don't have a hand here to verify it, but I'm just saying it is grief needs to be dealt with in any way possible, right? And to get it all to the end, you know, you think she is really gonna sacrifice this young boy because that's supposedly gonna free him from the possession, because in order to get out of the possession, once you say let me in, within 90 seconds, or I think it was 90 seconds for him, they gave him 60 seconds, you take out, like you rip the hand off and then you blow the candle, because supposedly the candle's the one that opens the door and closes the door. But they never did that with him. So supposedly his spirit was kind of just lingering in the spirit world and whatever spirit was taking him. Well, she was so convinced in her mind, the spirits were telling her, or her mom in that case, And so it looked like she was about to sacrifice the boy, like throw him into traffic. And then you see a body get thrown into traffic. And you're like, dang, she threw the kid. Holy cow. But then you see everything get dark. She's in the hospital. Her dad's walking away. The kid actually recovers and walks away with the family, so it's great. And then all of a sudden, she gets into a dark, dark room where there's nothing. And then you see a light. And you go, and she sees a hand holding out. And so she's like, oh, I'm going to have it. She holds the hand, and it's these other kids playing with the same dang hand, and she's on the other side. Holy cow. That was a twist that I did not expect to see, and I was very astounded by it. I was just like, holy cow. That was a good twist. But the other question comes, how the heck did they get that hand? Because she had it last, and I don't remember, they were just speaking a different language. Let's say you're in Europe, right? It was like Slavic, I don't remember. But they were speaking a different language. So there's got to be one, either that hand, they threw it, and just like Jumanji, it just kind of, and then landed on someone's, beach, and they picked it up, and then the game starts again, right? Kind of the same thing. But then the question would be, how would they know to do it other than, of course, watching the videos of people doing it, and they're like, oh, cool, we got the same hand, right? So there's a lot of questions that go into, like, the hand itself, right? Or are there just multiple hands starting to spread? Again, kind of like drugs, right? It's not just one person has, the specific drug and is going to be here. It's just, it starts spreading and getting everywhere, right? But I loved the twist on it. It was really good, and I highly recommend it if you like the psychological thrillers of it. But to know, if you don't, now you know the movie. You don't have to watch it. Like I said, it was really good. 2022 really brought out good stuff, and most recent we've had really good stuff as well that I will be discussing. But we're back. So until next time, I have a couple rules. Don't talk to spirits. Don't trust creepy antiques. And for the love of all things holy, just say no to haunted party games. I grew up in the 90s. We knew never to play with Ouija boards. So just don't do that. That's all I say. Well, but until next time, see y'all later.
The crypt is warm. We've got popcorn in a thunderstorm. Goal approved and the devil blessed. We talk horror, but we're well dressed. Screams and laughs and a spooky blend. We love the kills. We roast in the end. So grab your steak and your popcorn too. We're the horror fans who laugh with you. It's I'm scared. We fear with flair. Now press play.